Hi, my name's Amanda. I am a coach and a trance channel. And once a month, I host a virtual online event called the Expansion Experience, where I invite forward an archangel, ascended master, or beings of light to bring forward a message for the group on a different topic. And then after that, they offer every single person in attendance one-on-one guidance and support on whatever it is that they're moving through at that time. This month, Archangel Michael came through to give a talk all about Ascension, what Ascension is, what to expect from Ascension globally and collectively over the next few months to few years, and the impact that Ascension on this planet is going to have for the cosmos in general, which was really surprising. That conversation was super fascinating to me. And then finally, each person in attendance got individual support on what Ascension looks like for them and how to step forward into the embodied, empowered version of themselves that they're desiring to be over the course of the next few years. And so, what you are about to see is an excerpt from this past month's expansion experience. If you would like to stay in the loop on future expansion experiences, head to my website, amandalaurenblau.com, where you will find all the information there, and subscribe to my newsletter where you can be the first one to know on dates for upcoming experiences, who's going to be channeled, what the topic is going to be, and how to register for them. Please enjoy.
Hello. I am so excited to be here with all of you today. I have much wisdom and guidance and direction that I would love to share with each of you. And I'm so excited to get this opportunity to bring forward information that you may not be privy to otherwise. Before I get into the nuts and bolts of what I have planned for you today, I would like to highlight what to expect from this conversation. Ascension is a term that has been thrown around quite a bit in recent years. And I would like to shed some light on what that truly means for each of you, as well as the world at large. And not only that, the cosmos at large. Because what takes place on the earth plane has a reverberation effect across all space and time. And so the choices that you make here in this lifetime affect you in all lifetimes and affect beings that you may not be privy to. And they affect you in turn. And because of this, we each have an effect on one another. And it is important that we are all on the same page, especially when we have the same desires for what lies ahead for each and every one of us. So first, I plan on talking about the truth of what I believe Ascension is and what will lie before you, both individually and as a collective, in terms of how Ascension is going to affect you in your lifetime. And then from there, what I would like to do is invite each of you forward one by one, so I may reflect back to you where you are holding yourself back from your own ascension process, so that you can step into the true power of who you truly are and the full breadth of your potential that is available for you, not only in this lifetime, but in all lifetimes, both behind you and ahead of you. And I believe that some of the messages I'm going to bring forward today might be challenging for you to accept, as you are both on different parts of your journey, and that is to be expected. You are both different souls with different life experiences and different perspectives of yourself and the world around you. And so it is not up to me to dictate what is available for you. That is up to you, my loves. But what I plan on doing is highlighting where you might not be seeing the breadth of your full potential. And then it is up to you to dictate whether or not that is true for you. My word is not gospel. I am simply offering you a perspective that you may not have access to otherwise. And it is up to you to dictate how and what you want to do with that. I would like to bring forward the notion that ascension is not necessarily the byproduct of your ability to see yourself through a new lens, as is what is often described in the ascension conversation at large. But to me, ascension is so much more than that. Ascension is the ability to see all that lies before you as open potential and possibility for your own growth and development. And so, what this really comes down to is seeing yourself inside of this lifetime and all lifetimes as pure potential with unlimited opportunity. And so, it does not matter the choices that you make. What matters is whether or not you deem them to be for or against you. My loves, there is nothing in this world that is being done to punish you or that is being done to teach you a lesson unless you choose to see it that way. The truth of the way this world works is that you come here to have an experience of it, and you dictate what that is. Nothing more and nothing less. Yes, sometimes there are things that are predestined and placed upon your path, but you have chosen them to be there. It was a choice that you made, and the choices that you make leading up to those potential outcomes were also made available to you in those moments of choice. And therefore, what I would like to reflect back to you is that you are the creator of your destiny. There is nothing that has been pre-decided for you. It is all being done through you and by you and for your growth. But there is nothing that is being put on your path to steer you in a particular direction that you have not already decided you want to be in. And so, what I am trying to reflect back to you in this conversation of ascension is the truth of who you are, which is open potential and possibility. And if you deem a decision that you have made to be wrong or less than, that is your prerogative to do so. But you are the one that is dictating it as this. And there is no element of your spiritual team that is doing that for you. They are simply there to reflect back to you how you see you. Because it is how you see you that dictates who you really are. And if how you see you is less than who you deem to be desirable as you, then that is where we must start, is why you are choosing to see yourself in this light and how you can begin to see yourself in a different. And therefore, what ascension really comes down to is being very clear on how you see you and deciding if how you see you is how you desire to continue to see you, or if you desire to see you in a different way. And through seeing you in a different way, new opportunities will present themselves to you that were not available to you through a more narrowed lens of view. And through these new opportunities that present themselves to you, you may make different choices inside of them that will lead you through a different path as a result. But it was you that dictated this, not the world around you that did. You hold all the cards, my loves. Make no mistake about that. Up until now, the way that history has unfolded has been in a direction of everyone for themselves. What do I want? What is within my best interest? How can I best support myself? What can I do for me that will allow me to step into the best possible scenario for me, irregardless of those around me? And I understand that this might seem a little bit conflicting, as there are many of those out there that make decisions for the greater good. But inside of the decisions that they make for the greater good comes an ounce of self-inflicted shame, because they believe that if they did not make those choices, they would see themselves through a light that is undesirable. And there's nothing wrong with this. It is simply the way that you have been operating until now, collectively. And what Ascension promises is a way of looking at you in a different way that you have been looking at you until now. And that is one of no longer painting things as right and wrong, as good and bad, but accepting all that is. Because when you cannot accept all that is, you cannot embrace the truth of who you are, which is all things. You are a divine creator in your own right. And to be able to fully step into this purpose, you have to be able to accept you, all aspects of you. And this might seem contradictory, because if you choose to reject a part of you, then it is more likely that you will be able to change that part of you into something more valuable or worthy of your time. But that is not the case, my loves. You cannot ascend into a more accepting version of you while you reject a part of you in the meantime. Therefore, what I am inviting you forward into today is complete self-acceptance of every single one of your flaws, every single part of you that you deem to be unworthy of your love and affection, because it's only by embracing those parts that you embrace all parts. And it is through embracing all parts that you ascend. Ascension is acceptance of all parts of you. And it is through accepting all parts of you that you become whole inside of you. And the wholeness that's made available to you through incomplete self-acceptance opens your divine channel for creation. Because what can be created from a place of wholeness is anything and everything that you don't deem to be possible for you now. And when each one of you in this collective environment embraces one another inside of yourselves and inside of each other unconditionally, then you begin to vibrate with a coherence that has not been available on this planet for eons. And when you vibrate with a coherence of unconditional love and acceptance, the entire planet as a whole vibrates with intentionality for the same things. Peace. Peace, my loves. Is that not what you are seeking at the end of the day? Peace is found inside of unconditional acceptance, not inside of changing an aspect of who you are. Desiring to change an aspect of who you are creates further conflict, and that is projected onto those around you. Why don't they see eye to eye with me? Why can't they see that the way they believe is wrong? Why can't they see that they're creating more pain and suffering for themselves and those around them? When you can accept who they are unconditionally, and they can accept themselves unconditionally in turn, then at that point you both want the same thing. Love, irregardless of who you are and where you are and what you believe in. And ultimately at that point, you are on the same page. And I understand that right now, what each and every one of you want is love underneath it all. But you are attempting to access love through self-rejection. And that's why it is not working. And the process of ascension is uncovering this inside of you and rectifying it where you could not before. And the process of doing this will create pain because you will be forcing yourself to love a part of you that you don't feel worthy, that is deserving of it. And this is where the conflict inside of you may grow before it diminishes and evaporates. And this is simply what the process of ascension may look like for many of you. And this is why, over the course of the next several years, as more and more of you wake up to the truth of who they are and what they deeply desire for themselves, you may start to see additional conflict arise on this planet. It is because each and every person who is waking up to their deepest desires is seeing the parts of themselves that they were avoiding before and desiring to reject them with more emphasis than they were before. And this is simply a process that they must go through before they can understand what's actually required of them, which is acceptance. And so things might begin to look worse before they look better. And this is what I desire to speak into for a few moments. The process of ascension will not be easy and seamless for most of you, because the pain that you have been suppressing must rise to the surface to be felt. Because up until now, you have been telling yourselves that it is wrong, that this is a part of your experience. And that in and of itself is what is creating your experience of pain and suffering in the first place. There is no wrongness inside of your lifetime unless you make it so. And over the next few months, years, and decades, there will be many on this planet trying to rectify that inside of themselves. And you will see many of your loved ones grappling with this. How do I create the change I desire when nothing is working for me? And because of this process that you will have already gone through, you will understand what they are grappling with and suffering from, which is simply that they have not yet accepted the parts of themselves that desire love the most. And this is not something that can be rushed, as many of you are desiring to do at this time. Every soul must go through their own process of realization, and then their process of opening up to all that they have been repressing for so long. And once the floodgates of emotion open, there is not much that can be done other than allowing themselves time, space, and patience to move through it. And it's going to be challenging to see those you love dealing with this. But you will know what's really happening for them. And what's really happening for them is they are learning how to feel the parts of themselves that they have not been allowing to feel. And in doing that, they will learn how to love themselves more. And so, when you see those around you truly suffering in the next little while on this planet, you will know that it is happening for them, through them, and by them, because they're finally ready to accept themselves fully and unconditionally where they could not before. Briefly, I would love to give a discussion on how the ripple effect from the ascension process on this planet will begin to affect the cosmos at large. And this is because we are all connected. The energies that are not physically embodied on this planet at this time either have been or will be at some point in time, because we all desire to have experiences for us that will better us and allow us to evolve as a byproduct. And there is no experience more readily available to the soul's ability to grow and develop than having a lifetime on this planet, because what is required of you inside incarnating on this planet is extreme suffering. And it is through the suffering that you understand how to love yourself unconditionally through it. How can you learn this if you are not forced to? And this notion that you come to Earth desiring to suffer is very misunderstood. Because from the human perspective, nobody wants to suffer. And this is so understandable. And this is why you must forget who you are when you come here. Because if you had the remembering that you chose this, then you would not be able to fully experience the wrongness inside of it. It is important to have the experience and to feel wronged on some level by it. And I encourage you to see it that way, because that's your truth at this time. And it is not until you leave here that you will be able to see the bigger picture. And that, my loves, is okay and warranted and encouraged. And so, if every soul desiring to have an experience of Earth gets to understand what it's like to experience a loss of their sense of self, then they understand the importance of finding it again. And the ability of those on this planet to learn how to find it again amplifies the ability of the collective everywhere to find it again. And it is through finding it again that you find who you are, which is everything, anything, and all things. And this is the evolution of the soul self. And if it can be done here in the most challenging environment possible, then it can be done anywhere. And that is why your ability to ascend on this planet is so important for the souls watching you, because you give them hope. You give them perspective, and you give them the potential that they did not know existed before.